What's going on, Scorpio? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be your reading for the month of April 2024. So in this reading, Scorpio, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming. We're also going to get some advice from your angels and spirit guides for you, and so much more regarding April 2024. So without further ado, I'm going to pull the energy for you, Scorpio, and we will see what is coming your way for the month of April 2024. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Scorpio. All right, Scorpio, let's go ahead and see what's going on here for you. The first thing, coming out based on the oracle cards I pulled is, there's definitely a big challenge for you to bring harmony to the split between your emotions and your mind, or your heart and your head. Something I feel for a lot of you Scorpios out there is part of your superpower is that you're very secretive, or sometimes it's hard to tell what it is you're thinking, or what it is you're even feeling, because you have the hidden plutonic depths about you that makes it hard for people to access your own psychology or even access your own emotions in a given moment. And what I feel for you is, regardless of how other people feel about it, there's something about you yourself learning to bring balance, or being challenged by the difference between how you feel about something and what you actually say. Because what Spirit's telling me is that there needs to be justice to where maybe some of you, you really learn to say what you mean in an authentic way without a negative charge. Because I'm sensing from this reading that there's something here about, instead of saying how you really feel, you'll just, terminate a relationship, or you just won't say anything. Or sometimes you say something and it's not really how you feel. So before we get into the tarot, let's start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards. And the oracle cards that I pulled for you, the first two is the planet Mercury, having to do with mind and speech. It's the way that you think, speak, move, and even write. But then you have the moon, which is to do with your emotions and your subconscious. And it's really the part of you that you don't have to think about. It's the part of you that's just your instinctual, emotional self. And so Spirit wants you to focus on, somehow navigating the difference between your mind and your emotions, because the next energy that you need, or the theme that you're going to be exploring, Spirit's trying to tell you in April, Scorpio, is the square of challenge and disharmony. So the first thing that I'm telling you in this reading is that there's a challenge to bring harmony to the balance of your emotions and your mind. Because I feel many of you, when you're in a conversation with someone, whether it's business or in relationship, you feel a certain way about what someone is saying. Maybe a red flag goes off and you know not to trust someone, or you have a feeling about something, but then many of you say something else to maybe accommodate people, or to be like a pleaser, or to not create trouble. Or some of you go the other way, where you feel a certain way and you say exactly what you feel. But no matter what you're situation is, Scorpio, please use your intuition as to how you need to meet a challenge. You need to meet this challenge head on between the split between your emotions and your mind. I feel a certain way about what this person is saying, but I'm going to say this in some sort of way, because I feel like it's been an issue that you may have been avoiding. And many of you need to learn how to speak. You need to learn, say what you need to say what you need to say, but don't go into battle like Pluto and Mars. I'm gonna kill you now. No. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into the reading. Your opportunity, Scorpio, for the month of April is the Justice card. And the Justice card is really all about balance, and it's about bringing the balance to the realm of the mind, to the realm of thought. Like, think about people that are in a court. There are witnesses everyone is trying to balance out the mind. Like, what really happened here? How can we bring the element of air, thoughts, into balance here? How can we balance out this situation? And this is your opportunity in your own life in some sort of way. This is also about karma. I feel many of you have an opportunity to cash in on good karma, and I feel that actually very strongly here, Scorpio, especially for those of you that, you're kind of like, you're someone who knows the truth, the psychological truth about a situation, but you bite your tongue. Because you want to let people save face, and you don't want to be, you want to be a people pleaser. But for some of you, there's going to have to be a balance being brought to that, and maybe asserting yourself when you need to, even if you understand the psychological truth, but you don't want to say it. I feel like there's something here about you need to say it and assert yourself. But many of you, in conjunction with that, I'm getting that are going to experience positive karma as a result of you being in your heart a lot of the times. Like, of you, because some people don't care about the split between their feelings and their subconscious and their mind, and they just spaz. But with Scorpio, the plutonic kind of secretive energy here, I feel like you are going to receive good karma for the fact that you let people save face. And you may actually encounter someone who this month can see your flaw or can see something you're struggling with, but they let you save face, and so you're going to receive a good karma of that, of you understanding psychology. I feel like there's someone coming in who's going to understand you and love you for it, instead of being in a judgmental thing, like kind of what you do a lot of the time. But in conjunction with that, a lot of you, there's something that needs to be brought into balance between this split between your feelings and your mind. Now, from a certain higher level, the mind, the matrix, shoves our heart, our feelings, into a box. The heart wants what it wants, and the matrix says, no, you can't have that. So for some of you, you're going to have to actually, instead of having a psychological fear about being vulnerable, some of you are going to have to mend that split and say, what does my heart want? And then how can I think, write, or even talk in a way that supports what my heart wants, instead of being the secretive Scorpio? Because that's all well and good about being a secretive Scorpio. It's very powerful, and it actually contains good karma, because you don't want to just spaz and like hit people with a hard truth like me, Aries, sometimes. But within that, there's also a shadow to it, I feel, and somehow you're balancing something out. We're going to clarify in a minute. Now, your challenge is the Queen of Pentacles here. So there could be a challenge when it comes to the way that you make money or the way that you focus on your career at this time. There could also be responsibilities that are going to come in to kind of like to challenge you in a certain way here, Scorpio. So your opportunity is the Justice card. Your challenge is the Queen of Pentacles here. There could be something about bringing justice to your financial situation. Some of you, and that's kind of like the double-edged sword of it. What I was going to say before is, like, sometimes being a hidden Scorpio and having hidden desires is beneficial, but then sometimes, it kind of goes against the frequency of whoever screams the loudest gets heard the most. Whoever, if you really feel something, like you deserve something, and you have the courage to speak it and leave it out there for the world to see, or for someone to see, that's why in the Bible they say, like, God spoke humans into existence. Or, like, our speech as human beings is so powerful. What you speak will happen. It's a spell. But many of you have encountered people, or you've encountered a matrix, a job situation, a family situation, something, or your own self-doubt, your own, esteem issues, to where you feel something on the inside. Your heart wants something, but you won't speak it because you want to kind of like hide what you truly want. And so there could be something around vulnerability here and opening the heart and really saying what you mean. Like aligning your heart with your head is something that I would really advise you to do, because when you align the heart with the head, and you align your heart with your mind, you could say something that someone doesn't necessarily agree with, but you would be surprised as to how they respond to it. Because when you speak and your heart and your feelings are cut off from your head, people can feel that. And even if you say the right thing, and even if you're talking to your boss at work, a family member, a loved one, your significant other, and that split is there, it may cause temporary peace, like, okay, but people will sense the vibe, and the universe will sense the vibe as well. You know what I mean? So there's definitely something to do with your money situation this is all connected to. So let's go ahead and get into your overall general energy here, Scorpio. It's actually very healing, but especially for many of you in the beginning of April, you'll be experiencing this Moon-Mercury split. So in your overall general energy, first of all, you have the Nine of Wands, you have the Star, and you have the Queen of Cups here. So the Nine of Wands has to do with unfinished business or wounding. I feel like there could be someone that you have unfinished business with on a one-to-one personal level that actually is going to be put right, I feel very strongly. There could be someone that you've had an issue with that it gets resolved, because the Star is all about regeneration, healing, and it's a very natural frequency. You see how the person doesn't really have any clothes on, and it's like the natural energy of nature. But the Star also has to do with wish fulfillment. It has to do with one of your wishes coming true. And the Queen of Cups has to do with unconditional love and forgiveness and being in the heart. So for some of you, there's something being put right in a relationship. There could have been unfinished business in love that you're actually going to move forward with someone from your past, or an existing person that there was tension with that gets put right. But for others of you, Scorpio, and for many of you listening to this overall general energy is about you healing something that is unfinished business when it comes to something that you truly desire, a wish fulfillment that must require you to align your heart with your head, not to just be in your heart when no one's looking, or to be in your head when everyone's looking, or vice versa. There's something here that you need to align this and offer unconditional love to the things that your heart wants. Because, you see, we all come into this matrix, we all come into this earth pure. The heart is screaming, it's singing, I want this, please, I've incarnated into this body to experience this unique particular sense of joy within the five senses of this body. But because of social conditioning, because of the culturescape, the mind comes in and says, no, how dare you even ask for that? And then what the heart does is it shells up, and it's like, oh okay, I better not ask for that, I better not. And so many of you have shoved your heart into a box. And there's benefits to shoving the heart into a box in terms of navigating a matrix where we are all very dependent on each other on a social level. But and maybe this is not to do with social, and it's something that you just need to admit to yourself in private, and unite your head and your heart in private, and that will translate into the external or the social realm. But for many of you, this is something that you've been putting off that is no longer going to be able to. Some of you are going to be some of you have been putting off your own desire to be a star, to not fit in. You know what I mean? And like maybe some of you run an Instagram account that's all about authenticity, but don't think that you've already made it. You know what I mean? Like, you always have to check yourself at every level, because if you have a win, you can sleep on a loss can make or break someone, but a win can also make or break someone. I run an authenticity page, therefore I don't have to check myself whether I'm being authentic or not, because all I do is teach people, and I'm at this elevated perspective where I don't need to check in myself whether I'm authentic or not. Bad move, you know what I mean? So, like, it doesn't matter how successful you are, it doesn't matter where you are. There's something here that you need to get to the next level with being authentic in your wish fulfillment, or it's something to do with healing and offering unconditional love to an aspect of yourself or other, is what I really feel. Now, here's where it gets more difficult, because when it comes to what you don't see coming, you have the Seven of Pentacles, you have the King of Swords in reverse, and you also have the Sun in reverse here. So, navigating this whole Moon and Mercury split, the heart and the head split within you, it may feel like there isn't clarity, or that it may feel like you're searching for clarity, or it may feel like you're battling against yourself or others. There could be conflict as a result of this search, as a result of this yearning to integrate yourself here and bring justice to the realm of your thought. It's like it's always darkest right before dawn, is what I would say. And with the Sun in reverse, it's like there may be, sometimes it's like if you're in a lake and you're just on a summer day in a lake, a crystal clear lake, it's beautiful. You can go underwater, you can open your eyes, it's like a crystal clear lake. But like, let's say like a kid just did a cannonball into the lake and muddied up all the water. And all the water, it's like you're under the water, you can't see anything. In what you don't see coming this month, you have to wait for the mud to settle, and then you can see clearly again. But whatever you go through amidst the mud settling is what you needed to go through from a higher level to balance something out, and ultimately to get more clear on what your heart actually freaking wants. Because I don't care how successful you are, I don't care how many certificates you have, I don't care what you have. All of us shove our heart into a box. All of us live in the mask of the mind of Mercury. All of us have true desires that we have said, no, not going to happen in this life. But that is BS. We have entered into the age of Aquarius with Pluto moving into Aquarius. The star has to do with Aquarius energy. Potentially some of you don't want to go for this because you view it as weird, or you view it as how am I going to make money from this, or you view it how is it going to affect my existing relationships. But guess what? Are you happy where you are right now? No. So now when it comes to your advice from Spirit, you have the Emperor, you have the Eight of Wands, and you also have the Six of Swords here when it comes to your advice from Spirit. So I feel like this is really you taking control of your speech and potentially even traveling somewhere as well, Scorpio. But the first thing coming through is the Emperor. He says what he means. I mean what I speak. I do as I say. I hustle, I grind. Don't get in my way. You know what I mean? So some of you are going to be tapping into a Roy Jones Jr. energy, perhaps for 5 minutes only, and then regulating it. But here's the thing. This is mean, you got to really say what you mean. Don't have your heart is burning, and then you say something. The heart is burning, and then you say something. No, you need to somehow, and I'm not saying just be authentic to the point of being authentic and not being attuned to the people around you, but you better get serious about your speech, is what I really feel. And understand how those little moments, Scorpio, when you shove the heart into a box and you don't say what you mean because of whatever, could be a million reasons, words are spells, dog. You are I remember this. Let me give you a clear example. When I first started this YouTube channel, I always used to go over to like one of my relatives' house, but I didn't want to tell them about the YouTube channel. I didn't want to cast my pearls before swine. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up, my heart was like, I wanted to be like, you don't even know me. Like, I'm about to start this YouTube channel. I'm about to be super successful spiritual teacher. That's what my heart wanted to say in the moment. But because I was at my auntie's house, I had to be like, no, I'm just studying geology right now, because I didn't want them to understand where I was going. But what you speak, what you do now echoes on into eternity. What you speak becomes real. So when I said, oh, I'm not really doing anything, I'm just here doing geology, even though that wasn't the truth, I then had to deal with the repercussions of that speech. Because like in the Bible, or like God said, I spit you out of my mouth. I spoke it. Your speech is more important than just keeping things under wraps and thinking you can get away being a sneaky Scorpio. It's all related, dog. So like, the first thing is take control of your speech. The second thing is that Spirit is very much so encouraging many of you to potentially travel. The reason I say that is because the Eight of Wands has to do with open communication, speed, travel, and the Six of Swords obviously has to do with travel, but it has to do with moving on from choppy waters to calmer waters, once again letting the mud settle so that you can see clearly again. And so there may be a journey here that Spirit is actually advising you to take in April 2024. Doesn't mean that you have to go travel the world and drop everything, but for some of you here, you may actually decide to do something in your better interest that might be a complete shift, even in terms of geolocation and where you're living. Take it or leave it. If that's not the case, then it's more so about you leaving behind certain communication patterns that emphasize the split between your head and your heart, is what I really feel, okay? So let's go ahead and the thing about a square is that it brings you into conflict with yourself and other people. So this may all be acted out within relationships, but it's really you're against yourself here, Scorpio, and everyone is you pushed out. Everyone is a reflection of you. So let's go ahead and get into this reading, into the clarification portion of the reading. First card I'm actually interested in clarifying is the Star. I want to see why the Star is here in your overall general energy, because I really like to see that. Like, you will feel very fresh this month, you know, but I feel like the freshness will feel like it will be a result of a transformation or dealing with unfinished business. But let's see. The Star is clarified, Scorpio, by the Justice card, the 10 of Cups, and the 5 of Cups here. So once again, it's interesting. There definitely needs to be balance brought to your happily ever after, or to what you want your life to actually freaking look like here. Because there may be people or yourself that is very sad as a result of what you need to heal. You know, you also have the 7 of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Page of Pentacles as well. So there may be a real risk involved. You know, this is youthful energy, and it's people that are just getting going on a journey, you know. And then the 7 of Cups has to do with making a very difficult choice. So I feel like many of you have to deal with, like, how are you going to bring balance to what your happily ever after looks like, or to what you already have going on. Let's just continue. Let's clarify what the Justice card is in your opportunity, because it was clarifying the Star. The Justice card in your opportunity is clarified by the Strength card, the Strength card, the 4 of Swords, and also that 9 of Pentacles coming out. The 9 of Wands coming out once again. So the Justice is clarified by this. And so there's definitely some sort of moving through a difficult situation with grace, and this is about balancing the animal with the higher self here in your reality. The 4 of Swords is all about healing and really taking time out for yourself. And the 9 of Wands has to do with, once again, wounding or unfinished business in your opportunity. So it's all about shadow work for you here, but it's all about the way in which that you approach it. You know, sometimes if you think something will be very difficult, then that's what it will be. Or if you speak about it, oh, this is going to be so hard, then once again, that's what it will be. And I feel like, well, the other energy here that you have as well is the Ace of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and also the 10 of Pentacles here. So once again, this is a beautiful... You know, this is actually a beautiful mending of the heart and the head. We have the Ace of Cups having to do with the heart, water energy, and then you have the Queen of Swords, that logical Mercury energy. And then you have the 10 of Pentacles as well, which is all about your legacy and your long-term kind of like, it's not wish fulfillment 10 of Cups, it's real. It's your real legacy. So there may be a readjustment to your legacy here, but not without... a great deal of you confronting what it is that you've been putting off, because the Justice card is clarified by the 9 of Wands, as you saw, and the way that this spread is set out is that your opportunity is the Justice card, and in your overall general energy, the 9 of Wands is just staring at the Justice card here. Okay, so now some of you here, there could also be something about someone, putting a relationship, right, that like someone has wounding around you that you may need to be careful about, But I don't know. I feel like this is as well, like you're going to shock people. I also feel for some of you, Scorpio, I'm getting chills as I'm saying this, that whole King of Swords in reverse, the Sun in reverse, in what you don't see coming, I feel like there are people that will be very bothered by you merging the heart with the head and actually doing what your heart has always wanted to do. And it's not even like you, because I feel like you will be very successful, whatever that means for you, but I just get the frequency of like the day that you set out on the path, there will be people that can instantly feel and will be upset by this. So you kind of like not mending the split between your heart and your head, your emotions and your mind. It is allowing people to feel comfortable. Because in what you don't see coming, you have the King of Swords and the Sun in reverse. And I just feel now that I intuitively look at this, like once you set on the path that you need to go on, I feel like someone is going to be unhappy, or someone's going to be nervous, or someone's going to be like, oh God, I didn't want this to happen. I didn't want them to figure it out. For example, a lot of things have been, look. I know that a lot of people on this channel have been thinking that I've been losing my mind. Maybe you don't look into it. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. But look, there's a lot of people who have been concerned about my mental health because of certain things that I've been doing and saying in my readings. You're a Scorpio, right? Look at me in the eye. I'm not making this stuff up. There has been certain, and I'm sorry to get into me right now, but I just feel like I need to tell it to the Scorpios for some reason. There's been things that have happened to me that have been insane. Some of you would be crapping your pants, okay? I'm not making it up. And the moment I'm figuring it all out and I'm raising my frequency, it's like the Matrix, and like there's real things that are very upset about the frequency that the autistic mystic has shifted into. It's throwing everything off for them. But because we're all one, everyone will be dealing with these themes as well. When you start to figure out the codes and you start to figure out, oh, this is what I have to do to merge my heart with my head, or you start to elevate in whatever way that you're elevating, there's going to be forces that don't want to see it because it bothers them. Your light, or you figuring out what you need to figure out, is going to... So there could be people who there could be people who have bad intentions for you, and that's not going to be for all of you. But I'm sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. I feel lighter because it's true. Gosh. Okay, so let's just... Actually, you know what? Since we're on it, let's just clarify. It's the centerpiece to your reading. The centerpiece to your reading is the King of Swords in reverse. Now, the first thing that I got for this, once again, is just that it's darkest before dawn. You're not going to have a lot of clarity and logical clarity as you navigate this change. But for others of you, it's like as you shift your frequency in April 2024, there could be someone, I feel like it's a masculine energy, that is like very upset by this shift, this lifeline shift, that like they're going to intuitively know, or they're going to logically know, like, oh God, like I did not want this to happen to Scorpio. Because let's just see. Why is the King of Swords in reverse? Yeah, the Ten of Wands. The Sun, that's interesting to me. The Sun is right there. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. It's going to feel fast and overwhelming, this clarity. The King of Swords in reverse is clarified, first of all, by the Sun and the Ten of Wands. I do like to see that, though, because the Sun in reverse was right next to it. So whatever clarity is coming into your life, it's going to feel like it's a lot. And it's going to feel like it's happening very fast. And it's going to feel like this is too much for me to handle. This is too much for me to handle. But when you're in your heart, there's nothing that's too much for you to handle. You can handle any frequency on this planet. Okay? And you just have to let this marinate. Now, for some of you, there's going to be someone who takes a fast action towards you to try to throw off this healing. There's going to be someone, so I'm not trying to make you paranoid, but for those of you that it resonates with, I would say if there's someone that has bad intentions towards you, I would just say, like, just be aware that could throw someone off, okay? Like, people that have been feeding on your energy, when you change, it changes them, okay? So that's what I feel. Let's clarify why the Queen of Pentacles is in your challenge, though. That's interesting. The Queen of Pentacles in your challenge is clarified by the King of Pentacles and the Six of Swords here. And it's interesting that the Six of Swords would be in your advice. So there could be for those of you that are single, there could be a new relationship developing that has to do with long distance or travel, or it has to do with a change. As you admit to what your heart really wants, a challenge comes up. Now, for some of you, this is going to have to do with finances as well. For some of you, this is going to have to do with a change, you moving on from the current way that you make money because your heart is not in it anymore. And it could bring this could have to do with temporary financial difficulties. But for others of you, Scorpio, this Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Six of Swords in your advice as well. I feel like there could be this could be a new relationship opening up for you, that maybe you make a lot of money with someone as a result of you admitting what your heart really wants, and the universe is giving you the opportunity to link up with someone who has the same heart and mind energy as you. I really feel that there could be, and especially with the Emperor, the King of Wands, make sure that you use your intuition on people. But a lot of the lady Scorpios out there, you could be in a new relationship very fast in April 2024 that has a lot of potential to make money, and is something that you're going to be figuring out your life with someone. And it doesn't have to be romantic, but I feel like for many of you it will be. Or it could be business as well. There's definitely a change to your finances as a result of you navigating this challenge and disharmony between your feelings, subconscious, and your mind and speech. Okay, so let's just get your advice. I just said let's just get your advice. Let's see what comes out. The Eight of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's a little too much. So let's just clarify. I want to clarify why the Emperor is in your advice. Why is the Emperor in your advice? That's so weird. That just came out. The Emperor is clarified by the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and also the Five of Pentacles here. So once again, I feel like this is a certain element of you putting yourself first here and not being stuck in someone else's baggage. Because a lot of the time, Scorpio, when you are not expressing yourself, when you're doing the downloading, Plutonic Mars downloading, like you're understanding, you're in a conversation with someone, you're understanding the psychology, but you don't speak it, or you speak a false thing to try to appease, you could be unknowingly locking yourself in a reality by taking on the unproductive beliefs and thoughts of those around you. And so I feel like the Spirit is saying, like, you just need to, like, almost like have this attitude of like, I have to put myself first right now, and I have to, like this energy, instead of being so people pleaser like, or instead of, for some of you it's the other way where you're just too blunt. But it's navigating the mind Mercury split. And for many of you, there's going to be travel involved with this. Whether you're traveling mentally or physically, that's what Spirit has for you here. And it's all about this energy once again, the Star. So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this reading, Scorpio.